Hello gems, Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Welcome back to my channel for today's unboxing video. Today we will be unboxing and reviewing the Mantra Oracle by Lily Barbery-Coulon. This is a sterling Ethos edition. I purchased this deck originally from magic.com. And I don't remember what happened with it, but I didn't get it. It was either stuck and not shipping, or it got stuck at the post office. I want to say it was that last one. I think it got stuck at the post office. And then I asked them to just cancel it, refund it, and then I ordered this new from Amazon, and it was at my door, I think in like 1 or 2 days. I ordered it new, and it had this little crack right here in the box. This little sticker thing, I did not open it, but it was closed when I got it, but very shortly after it was just sitting on my table waiting to be opened, I noticed the glue wasn't holding, so it started to just lift on its own. I don't know if that happened prior to coming to my house or what, if it was just like kind of set back down and it lifted, or if the little sticker tape is just not that strong. I don't know. So on the back it says, channel the potent energy of spoken invocations. Whether you seek inspiration, insight, or the answer to a particular question, the Mantra Oracle is a powerful tool for your daily practice. Spread out the 54 cards face down, speak your intent before picking the card calling to your left hand. Look at the illustration, then read the corresponding mantra. Read the accompanying booklet to discover the meaning of the card. You can meditate with these phrases or simply follow the path indicated in their messages. Packed in an elegant keepsake box that includes a lifting ribbon, a magnetic closure, these stunning gilt-edged cards combine the laws of synchronicity with the energetic power of sacred language, so as to guide you toward the answer you've been looking for. As far as like the elegant keepsake box, let me see, I'm trying to get that show up on camera. It has a crack here, and it's also cracked over here on the edge, which I'm sure happened during Amazon's careful delivery. My goodness. Okay, so let's see. And as for the spreading all of the 54 cards out, face down, speaking your intent, and then choosing the card with your left hand, that's something that I do on occasion. Sometimes I feel especially drawn to place my hands over the cards and choose in that way. And other times I feel drawn to shuffle them. So I'll be doing that based on how I feel. Okay. So I would have preferred, since this says it has a ribbon, I would have preferred to have the ribbon here so I could just easily take the book out. I do like these little magnets. The magnets are here just to kind of keep the book, not the book, the box closed. I do like the magnetic closure. Oh, I see what they're saying. Okay, so instead of having the ribbon to lift the book, therefore the cards. This is not my favorite style of packaging. I probably won't even keep the cards in this box. I'll probably keep them in a bag. I did order quite a few bags, and I think I still have some left over. So we'll see, especially because the box is already damaged. I don't know. I do like the colors. They're very soothing. It's very calming. The paper feels really nice, and it's not a glossy page, so it feels really good. Okay, so this says, I'm looking for the copyright. Original French text was 2021, illustrations 2021, and then it says English translation, which is what I have, copyright 2023. So this is a 2023 edition. It goes into the table of contents, an introduction, your turn to play, and then it goes into the cards, it looks like. Okay. I'm going to read this little snippet here because this kind of pulls me in. It says, for a long time, I thought Oracle and Tarot were nothing but a scam. I just want to say that that was also my opinion before I took the time to learn the Tarot. It says, the thought of making a decision based on some random card seemed absolutely preposterous. And if I could acknowledge the aesthetic beauty of some decks, I still didn't understand the appeal of such spiritual practices. To me, they were as unreliable as the horoscopes I listened to on the radio as a child. I started to change my mind in 2016 when I discovered Kundalini Yoga. After being a journalist for almost 15 years, spending my days looking for rational ways to see the world, I was suddenly experiencing new sensations that my five senses couldn't explain. Every new class opened a door to unexplored regions of my consciousness. The power of these series of intense breathworks, movements, and sung meditations to my physical, emotional, and energetic stage was astounding. When I closed my eyes, I allowed myself to venture toward the unseen and the mystery that I had never been initiated into before. The incredible power of mantra was soon part of my everyday life, softly loosening my most tenacious resistances. I started to look into the yogic teachings, the psychics, the physics, the astronomy, and the nature I had been so deeply disconnected from. In the hope of understanding this sudden inner harmony achieved without any substance or side effects, my vision of the world had changed, as if I had removed veils from the surface of my retinas. I was more sensitive to the seasons, to subtle changes, and the signs I used to see as coincidences. I had eventually accepted the existence of a magic my brain still cannot comprehend. I love that. That's beautiful. Oracle and mantras. Let's read this part. During yoga practice, when setting an intention at the beginning of a course or before a full moon ritual, the teacher might offer to let their students pick a card out of an oracle deck. These special occasions allowed me to get accustomed to these new tools. Now I use them whenever I feel like it. I'm always struck by the accuracy of the readings. Whether the reading is for me or somebody else, the cards are always mind-blowingly relevant. Over time, I started using oracles to guide the yoga classes I host. Each card I pick serves as inspiration and guidance. However, despite the large selection of oracles out there, I never found a deck focusing on the mantras used during yoga practice. That inspired me to create the object you're holding in your hands, the mantra oracle, created with the artist Bastien Coulon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Combine synchronicities with the symbolic power of mantras to help you create the meditation that fully matches your needs. If you don't feel like meditating or reciting the mantra, the message behind the card you picked will still be enough to engage a conversation with yourself. Where do these 54 mantras come from? In many yoga practices, sacred syllables are used to start and end the moment of the practice. Originating from ancient traditions, these short sentences are extracted from much longer texts, some of which date back to about 1500 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, like the Gayatri Mantra, for instance. These syllables, unknown to Westerners, have been sung and repeated for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and became part of humanity's spiritual heritage. Although derived from Hinduism, Sikhism, and Buddhism, mantras are not dogmatic chants reserved to religious practice. These syllables, usually arranged in groups of 8, as a reference to infinity, are extremely powerful. One might believe that the mantra's meanings affect our psyche. However, even if you don't speak Sanskrit or Gurmukhi, you can feel the untranslated words effect. In fact, the sung syllables vibrations act therapeutically. So it says, in every culture, we soothe babies with sound and songs. Every sound has its own frequency, capable of soothing, energizing, calming, or on the contrary, scaring, like with shrieks and roars. Each of the 54 selected mantras for this oracle has its own specific property that you can explore by repeating it. In Kundalini Yoga, which Westerners discovered in the late 1960s when it was introduced for the first time on the west coast of the United States, it is common to use mantras in most meditations. Even if some mantras are in English, most of them come from Sikhism, and they are all equally powerful. I did not choose the number 54 at random. 54 is half of 108, which, like the number 8, is said to be connected to infinity. Traditionally, mantras are repeated 108 times with the help of a mala, a necklace made of 108 pearls. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pearl. Usually it's beads, or it could be seeds, it could be stones, it could be rounded pieces of little wooden beads. So it's going into how to use them, how to set your space, how to start a reading, interpreting the cards you have drawn, deciding how to use the card, sing with your heart, not your head, how to act and behave while you chant, when is it best to meditate with a mantra, and then it goes into the card. So it's just a black and white book, very plain, and there's not too much information written for each card, so I don't think it's going to be overwhelming. Let's check out the cards. The ribbon is cute. I think I definitely won't keep the cards in the box. I think I'm for sure going to, I'm gonna keep them in a bag. So I just wanted to show you this in case your box comes in better condition than mine and you wanted to repurpose the box. You could put little crystals or candles or whatever in there. The reason I don't like these types of boxes is because I feel like it makes the cards lay weird when you combine the whole deck together. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see if it does it. Not really, but there is the line here. Wait, let me see if you can see that. That's where the cards split. I don't know. These seem to be better in better condition than most that come in those two-part, like two little stacks. I just don't really care for that. Yeah, you can see them kind of wanting to separate. You put them together and they just want to keep separating in that same spot. Kind of just throws me off. Okay, so let's check out the backs of the cards. The backs are really pretty. It does have a round corner. Gold gilding. It's like bling bling gilding, and there's little spots that are a little bit scuffed. It's not too bad, but just from looking at it, I would say that this will be a gilding that does get scuffs. If that's going to bother you, please take that into consideration when purchasing. I'm going to lower my camera just a bit. Okay, let's take a look at these cards. So here we have the light prayer, the shield of light. Loka Samasta, harmony for all. I'm just going to read the English names. The channel of cosmic energy. I love it. Open up to receiving. Open up to the magic of life. Magic mantra. Protection in every direction. Awakening my cosmic consciousness. Me within is the reality. The compass of my soul. Obey, serve, love, excel. No more betraying my consciousness. I love how the whole cosmos is in her eye. How they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I love it. I don't know if you do any type of eye gazing or not, but I really love that practice. The mantra of compassion. The purifying power of fire. I love that these cards don't glare. Connect to the universal consciousness. I love how you can't really tell, like, is he becoming the little particles, or are the particles becoming this person? I don't know. Maybe both. That's pretty cool. I am infinity. Recover the breath of life. Again, it's really heavy on the stifling. To me, I feel like those are like the particles. Like it's awakening her. Letting go. Healing energy. Again, we have those little particles. It's like she's absorbing its healing energy. That's really cool. Balancing my polarities. We have the sun and the moon. I like that. Take a higher perspective. So far, I'm really loving these cards. The blissfulness of being. I love how there's particles around here. They're darker at the edges, you know, and it kind of lightens up as it comes to the center. And then here, I feel like this person's like pulling it back, you know, like pulling it back and really peering into what is. Opening the heart. I love it. And it's very, very green, like the heart chakra. The need for inner peace. Yes. Just basking in it. Looks like he's here either at sunrise or sunset. And I love his expression. Just totally content. Accepting my multi-dimensionality. I love it. Really symbolizing the transformation. The Universal Mother. The fertile intuition. I love how her hair has the cosmos in it. Oh my gosh, I always say that my hair is my antenna to the universe. Love it. Unburden yourself. Yes. She's just splashing. Having fun. Relying on each other. Return to the unity. Recover the universal truth. The wisdom of humility. The power of the divine feminine. So beautiful. Feeling invincible. Oh my gosh, I love it. My soul pulsates with me. Yes, and again, that's how I feel like this little stifling is. It's like energy. It's your prana. It's your life force energy. Lucky no matter what. Become fearless. Tune in to your guides and angels. The unrestricted courage. Radiating my full presence. Accepting ephemerality. May the sun guide my way. The unrelentless support. Escaping negativity. The self at the service of the group. I love it, the little bee. The horn of plenty. The creative flow. Very cool. I love it because there's nothing out there. Well, it looks like there's nothing out there. You can't really see behind the dunes, but the water's flowing. And if it continues to flow, it will bring life. Manifesting through clairvoyance. Very cool. I am perfect being of light. I am a perfect being of light. Freeing myself of perfectionism. I love it how this person looks really young. Being beyond my identity. Yes. I love my body. My body deserves all my love. Yes. I release control, breaking free from control. I'm just a breath of life. I am worth more than what I believe. Submitting myself to my divine power. Celebrating innate joy. Releasing my mind. Boosting my self-esteem. Light of the soul. Okay, oh my gosh. I'm going to have to find one card that's my favorite. Oh, okay, let's see. This is going to be my favorites pile over here. This is going to be based on the image. Okay, let's see which one is going to be my favorite. Oh, we forgot to do the sniff test. We'll do that after my favorite. Okay. Ooh, and they all fit. Perfect. Okay. Who is going to come out first? It's not because of the color, but we're actually going to be taking out these two orangey ones here. Out of these two, I'm really drawn to that eye and just how the whole cosmos is in the eye. I really love that. these over. I think my favorite one is going to be the channel of cosmic energy. I love all the clouds. Kind of reminds me of like of the heavens, you know, or maybe it's like thoughts. And when you push all of that aside, here you have your 7 chakras. You have the eye. I feel like that's like your true self. And you have the sun and the moon. And then you have the 2 snakes. I feel like that would be Ida and Pingala. Those would be your nadis rivers where your energy moves up. And when these two rivers are flowing in balance, they say that's when Sushumna, which runs in between the two, is able to rise. And that would be like enlightenment, the channel of cosmic energy. So let's go to the book and see what this has to say. So one thing I want to point out is that there's not any card numbers. So you do have to go in here, and it looks like it's ABC order on this top phrase. Some of them are in English and some are in Sanskrit. So here we have right here, Long Ik Onkar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think that's how it's pronounced. And that would be on page 68. So it has the full mantra, Ek Onkar Sat Nam Siri Wahe Guru. So if I was going to chant this, I would chant it like Ek Onkar Sat Nam Siri Wahe Guru. I might play with that a bit and see if I want to change it up at all, but that's probably how I would chant it. The translation says, the Creator and their creation are one. The essence of this truth is so great that to become aware of it fills me with bliss. It says, because we have been used to brushing our teeth every day, ever since we were young, many people can't even stand the thought of leaving the house with dirty teeth. These 3 minutes spent brushing our teeth every morning seem essential to get rid of bad breath or food residue. But we don't just do it out of politeness to others. We know that if we don't brush our teeth regularly, we can get cavities and then even more painful issues. This card warns you about another type of hygiene, cleaning, activating, and opening your column of light. That would be the Sushumna Nadi. Taking care of your physical body is essential for good health. However, we are more than a physical body. We are energy. When the energy's flow is fluid, it is harmoniously redistributed, and the vortexes, the chakras, where it twirls can act as receivers and transmitters by connecting the material world to the invisible. But when unresolved energy accumulates, our main channel is affected. This mantra, usually chanted during the morning practice, sadhana, doesn't just harmonize your energy, it also opens and activates your 7 chakras. It cleans and clears like a plunger unclogging a pipe. The first verse of the Sikh text, called Japi Sahi, the long Ek Onkar, requires a particular practice, see below. It has long been recommended that Kundalini yoga practitioners should chant it for 2.5 hours every morning as a sadhana. Each year, many people engage in this intense practice for 40 days in a row. This mantra is not simply a series of syllables to be pronounced. It is a metaphoric, energetic experience. It is time to cleanse your nadis, the energetic channels essential for communicating with the cosmos. Imminent takeoff to infinity. It has a practice which says this mantra should be chanted on 2 breaths and a half, sitting cross-legged. Breathe in deeply. As you breathe out, chant Ek while clenching your glutes to activate the first chakra. Then chant by squeezing the lower belly as if you wanted your reproductive organs to rise. Toward the end of the exhalation, chant Kar by sucking in your navel. Take a deep breath without loosening the engaged ligatures, the bandhas. Chant Sat by projecting it to the center of your chest. Then vibrate Nam in your throat to affect your fifth chakra, the communication chakra. At the very end of the exhalation, end with Shri by picturing the sound in your third eye between the eyes. Then take a half breath and chant Waha, Waha, Wah. So here it says Waha, W-A-H, and then here it says W-A-H-E. So I guess it would be Wahe. Oh, okay, I get it. Then take a half breath and chant Waha while picturing the seventh chakra toward the crown. Then unclench all the ligatures on A, Guru. The full mantra should take you 1 minute to chant, and you should repeat it 7 times. Keep the tension and only release it when you chant A, Guru. It has a suggested musical version, Long Ek Onkars by Good Vibes Collective. So that's cool. You could probably look that up. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find that on YouTube. Okay, so I think I found the right version online. If I did, I'll double check again after this recording. And if I did find the correct version, I will leave a link to that video in the description so you can hear the suggested way to chant this by the author of this deck. And I just want to point out that you can also do what feels good to you. You can also put your own spin, your own interpretation on this chant. Okay, so I'm going to leave this card in here. Really quickly, we're going to do a sniff test of the book. It's very pleasant. It just smells like a book. There's very minimal smell. And this has a very minimal, pleasant smell. It's almost non-existent. Okay, so let's check out the cutting. The cutting feels really nice. There's nothing that's lifting. The edges feel nice and smooth. Sometimes with the bling bling gilding, you do get an edge that really lifts and it becomes uncomfortable in the hands. This feels really nice. I'm going over my list to see. Okay, so there are no spreads in this guidebook. That's fine because with this deck, I would probably only use one card. In addition to a tarot reading, I might only do a reading using one card. With this deck, I may feel more inclined to use more than one card. I would absolutely use this deck to theme a yoga class. That's something that I often do using my tarot or my oracle. Using my tarot and or oracle cards, I do often use those to theme a yoga class, especially when working with private clients. That's something that a lot of them really enjoy. Okay, let's check it out and see if these are slippery or sticky. I don't really feel like these cards are slippery or sticky. They do fit pretty comfortable in my hands. They sound nice when shuffling. I do like the coating on the cards. It does have a very pleasant sound. I will pull a random card from the deck to see how that reads. Let me try shuffling them in a different way. So let's just see like how they separate after a little bit of a shuffle. I feel like they want to separate here, and that's probably the type of packaging. Okay, so let's give them... Oh, these are rather large. I don't really know if I'm going to be able to shuffle them like this. A little stiff. Probably don't recommend them being shuffled in that way. Maybe from the side, it might be a little comfortable. But you can also do it the other way, the way that they suggest. I probably wouldn't do it like that. I might just kind of spread them out and just pull one. So that's how we'll do it. Well, they want you to use your left hand, which is your hand of receptivity. So let's go ahead and do that. Just see if I feel anything. I am feeling some heat over in this area. I just want to double check. So this is the card that I was particularly drawn to. I did like this card at the beginning. It reminded me of the heart chakra. It kind of has Hanuman vibes where he rips his chest open to show his love and devotion for Ram and Sita. So this is opening the heart. So let's go to the guidebook and find this card. So it says Sat Kartar. Sat means the truth. Kartar means the creator, he who is at the origin of creation. When the heart has cried rivers and has hurt itself in the brambles 1,000 times, it shuts itself away from the light of day, like an animal finding refuge in a cave. Under the burden, the back arches, the rib cage deepens, and the shoulders roll forward a little more. Some therapists don't even need to listen to or touch their patients to know that their heart chakra is activated. Their posture is already indicative enough. And how could we blame ourselves for guarding what has been hurt? Rewriting or blaming ourselves for our past only leads to more suffering. Locked away in its dungeon, the heart chakra cannot play its part anymore, which is receiving and sharing unconditional love. A love it can generate on its own. Yet this chakra is where our medicine lies. When this energetic center is locked away, we cannot notice our loved one's kindness anymore. We only see the drama, the disharmony, and the conflict. Other people's judgment, as well as our own, overtakes compassion. We cannot perceive the opportunities offered to us anymore, and we feel isolated. The card you have picked is giving you unlimited love vibration. This mantra restores your faith in love, self-love, romantic relationships, friendships, and love for all humankind. Love for the planet and the cosmos. Love in all its shapes. It should be chanted with specific gestures. See practice below. That will anchor your choice to open up. You use your free will to remove the veils, one after the other, that choked the heart chakra. Each repetition of Sat Kartar frees the chest. The light can then pass through and spread around the torso. At first, a few centimeters in front of the heart chakra, at the level of the sternum. Then, as you meditate, you will feel your electromagnetic field expand in front of you and behind you. You are worthy of loving and being loved. The practice says, sitting cross-legged, place your hands in prayer in front of your sternum. On Sat, do not move. On Kar, spread your hands apart at the shoulder level, palms facing forward. On Tar, spread your arms wider, wrists broken, palms facing outward, as if you were trying to push the walls on either side of the room you are in. Continue with hands back in prayer on Sat. So, oops. They don't actually mean to break your wrists. So here it's on Sat, hands together in front of your heart chakra. On Kar, spread your hands apart at shoulder level, palms facing forward. So it would just be open wide at the shoulders, palms facing forward. I would do it like this, like just like arms in one long line, fingertips on opposite side of the walls. On Tar, spread arms wider, wrists broken, palms facing outward. So I think it's like this, facing forward. And then, so here's, so here's my back, okay? And I'm facing this way. So my arms would just be out like this. And then on the last part, Todd, my wrist would be bent and I would be facing, and my hands would be facing the sides of the rooms like that. Trying to push the walls with the heel, trying to touch the walls with the heel of your palm is how I would describe that. The walls to the left and right of you. And then it says, continue with hands back in prayer on Sat. It has a suggested musical version. Again, it says on YouTube, you will find a free video meditation called Spirit Voyage Global Sadhana, Open to Love, with Ram Dass and Sat Kartar. Okay, so I will leave a link to that in the description as well. Again, you are free to experiment with this on your own interpretation. You don't have to only do this version. And with this one, I want to go back and say that where was it? That you actually don't have to sit and chant this version for 2.5 hours every morning. You can start with 8 times. You know, if you're new to meditation, if you're new to chanting, that's going to be so overwhelming. It may just completely turn you off to it altogether. So I say start small. If you wanted to use something like a mala, you know, you just go through, and that's what these beads are. It's like just like a rosary, you know, they're counters, and you just go through, and every time you chant it, you move it along. And when you get back to the end, the other side, then you know you've done it 108 times. Some will have another bead at the halfway mark. You know, here I just have the tree of life. So I could do that even with my eyes closed. I'll know when I get to this tree of life, oh, I've come halfway, okay? But there's different ways that you can do it. There's no right or wrong way. Those are just ways that work for a lot of people. Okay, so what's next on my list? Yes, I think the deck does have a cohesive theme. I think the cards all mesh well together. It does not remind me of a deck that I have. I do think that a newbie could work with this. I like how it gives suggestions for you to go and find a YouTube video where you can listen to a suggested chanting of the mantra. You can listen to pronunciation. Even me being a yoga teacher, I don't know all of the chants, okay? I don't speak with perfect Sanskrit, so sometimes my pronunciations are off. So it's always good to have that reference. So I do still have a few bags left over from my last bag purchase. Let's see, one that I feel might go with this deck. Okay, I kind of feel like these 3 would match this deck. So now I'm just gonna have to pick which bag I want to keep it in. I think I'm gonna go with this one, actually. I think I like this one for this deck. Let's see if it fits. Yes, it does. This book would just go on my bookshelf with my tarot and oracle guidebooks, the ones that I don't keep with the actual decks. This is actually a little bit tight. I might actually switch this with just a plain one. Yeah, I think I might switch it because this bag from my other set is a little bit taller, and I don't feel like it'll scuff up the gilding as much. Yeah, that fits in there a little better. So I think I'm just going to keep it in this bag. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this deck and this video. I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems.